I'm happy to announce that Convo with Coop has its first official sponsor. T-Town Tees is a company made by me and two of my best friends to make shirts that other people aren't willing to make. We have shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeve, and hats with more to come. Use the link in the description and you will get 5% off all T-Town Tees products today. And you will directly be supporting the Convo with Coop podcast to make sure that we continue to bring the best product that we can. Thank you. Here we are, another episode of Convo with Coop. We got NXT superstar, soon to be WWE superstar, Oba Femi.
Back by destiny.
Oh yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good now. How you doing?
I'm doing good, killing, man.
See you.
Heck yeah, it's traveling a long ways to get down here in Orlando, down to the Performance Center, all that, but it's a good time, man.
Yeah, how was the drive?
It was easy, man. Easy drive. I'm used to driving, like doing DoorDash, different stuff. It ain't nothing to me.
I know, Walla. That's good.
It ain't nothing to me.
Welcome.
Heck yeah, man. All right, well, I got to ask you, obviously, being in Alabama, okay, I've seen you throwing, seen you do all this. I was one of in all the videos supporting you doing all this stuff. And obviously now 2 years down here, we obviously see what we got right here, NXT North American Champ. Mm-hmm. What's the secret to the success, man? How do you do it so quick like this?
I don't know. I can't really tell you the blueprint because there's no real blueprint. But I mean, I can tell you like the success in throws was like hard work and, you know, the grind and, you know, watching videos and technicality. But like the success in wrestling, I think comes from like being like at the right place at the right time. That kind of deal. Mm-hmm. So like, of course, hard work too, but like everybody works hard. Yeah. Being at the right place at the right time, being good to people, having a good attitude, like building trust, I feel like is like one of the bigger things too with like wrestling, because like they'll give you opportunities like every now and then they'll throw you a bone, and depending on how you do during that trial, like if they see you do well in an interview, they'll be like, okay, we know we can send this guy to be like an NIL spokesman or something like that. So like, building trust, being good to people, and hard work. Yeah. And timing.
Heck yeah. You said like right place, right time. So obviously, and I was on the team at the time. I didn't even know what you were doing. I just saw you in Vegas one day. So like, how did that happen? Where you ended up getting the tryout and all that stuff?
So they DM'd me on Instagram. The NXT recruiter at that time, I don't even think he's still with the company right now, but she messaged me and she was like, how would you like to come down to Vegas for a WWE tryout? And I'm reading this message. I'm like, who's this? Who is this scammer? And I'm like, all right, I'm obviously not going to like answer this. So I leave it there. And then somebody's like, okay, at least like look up this person to even see if they're like legit. And I look up the woman and she's like, oh wow, she's actually, you know, the ish. So I messaged back. I'm like, yeah, I'm still down. Is the offer still on the table? She was like, yeah, definitely. I was like, take me there, fly me there. You know, accommodation and all that stuff. We got you. And I was like, okay, no problem. So go to Vegas, do the tryout, which is like, at the time, keep in mind, like you knew me then. I was like 326 pounds. Yeah. I can barely move. So the cardio at the tryout was at the time genuinely one of the hardest things I've ever done. Maybe the hardest thing I've ever done was that tryout with that like level of conditioning.
What they have you doing out there?
Just running, doing rolls. No, I was about to say speed bag, but like there's this drill called like it's like the bag drills. They put like a punching bag, like the big punching bag. They put it in the middle of the ring, and you're like supposed to like drop down, do a push up, get up, jump to the other side, burpee, you know, stuff like that. So it just kept you moving, and it was like in rotation. There was like 3 rings. You go from ring 1, where you do a specific sequence of movements. Ring 2, another specific sequence. Ring 3, and you just kept going and in circles until they were done. Or you felt like you were done.
Did a bunch of people drop out?
Actually, yeah. I don't.
That's tough.
The way I say it is like they didn't really like drop out. Their bodies gave up. Which is like, it's not like, oh, I quit. It's like my body just won't move. There was that, and then there was this one big dude who I'm not allowed to talk about because he's not in the company anymore. But if you know who it is, you know who it is. He was pulled out because they felt like if he kept going, like something bad might happen. Oh no! But like, Heart of the champion, like he didn't quit. Like they pulled him So like, yeah, there was that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's everything I've heard. Like I've heard even like older stories, like back in the day, people trying to try out, like UFC fighters talking about trying out, and they were like, "Yeah, it was just a cardio workout. They're just trying to kill you,
Yeah,
to see what you do."
Basically. And back then too, they used to make it like a mission to like break you.
Yeah.
Like now those traditions are like gone. Now they'll actually have like a clean trial. But like back in the day, they would do things like give you pasta and then make you run the ropes 100 times, like just to get you to like throw up. But that's in the past now. Like going forward.
Yeah, no, I like all the tryout stuff that they've been doing. I know we had more people this year from, I forget exactly her name. It was like a volleyball girl from Alabama that did it.
Aaliyah Wells.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
She came in.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see her first tryout. I kind of got to see it, but I didn't see what she did. But she got called for a second tryout, like in our PC building here in Orlando. So she was here for like a week. This was about like 3 weeks ago. And I don't know. I mean, they called her for a second tryout. Like that means they definitely saw something. But I don't know if I don't know if she got it, honestly.
I see. Yeah. How did that work for you? Because I'm pretty sure you got called 2 different tryouts as well, right?
No. I just did
one.
I just did the one tryout.
Okay.
And then they offered me like on the spot.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, like I would love to do this, but like I have to go and finish school. I'm in my senior year, almost done. And then they were like, okay, we'll keep in contact. That's where the whole NIL thing came about, because I had to go back to school for 1 year. But like it was only one tryout I did.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I got you. And then you just came down immediately after.
Yeah.
How was that transformation going from, obviously, like our training's tough, but it's obviously a different type of training. It's more, y'all are cardio based. Ours is anaerobic, more explosive based.
Yeah.
So what was that like transformation like initially?
It's tough. Like initially it was like tough. Like going from like putting heavy weight on your back and moving it as fast as you can and never running more than 200 meters in warm up. I went from that to like doing 5-minute, 6-minute matches like on the go. You're moving, you're scrambling, you're like you're escaping, you're maneuvering, you're jumping. It's like I'm like, oh wow. Like I remember my very first match that I like did about 3 minutes. I remember after the match was done, I was like, wow, I can't breathe. Like I barely made it through 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So but like the transition was hard, but like eventually like you find ways around it. Like you start to like notice the things that specifically work for you. Like there was a time I figured out that like, oh, it's not even necessarily my heart that's like the problem, because like my breathing is relatively fine. My like heart is like not like pumping, like beating out of order or anything like that. It's just like I'm catching so much lactic. So I was like, okay, like now we need to like work on like strength endurance. So like now I started doing like volume squats for like the red kettlebell. I don't know how much, like 70 pounds. I'll do it for like 60 reps or like 70 reps. Like 3 sets of that, get like a real burn. And
it's the muscles.
That you're using. Muscles just were catching lactic because they weren't strong.
Yeah. War. Bad. Boobs. Good. Use the link in the description to get 5% off your War Bad Boobs Good shirt today. 100%. No, that's what like jiu-jitsu, me and Preston, my boy Preston, he's like doing MMA fighting, and that's what he's been doing. And oh God, I'll see him. He'll run miles. He'll be fine. His cardio will be good. And you start grappling and start trying to squeeze someone, and then it's like boom, it's gone. It's done for. So no, that'll do it. That
reminds me of like what John Jones said. He was like all that like pretty wrestling and cardio, all that pretty footwork and like fighting goes away once like you get taken down and you have to walk your way up. It's like it's a different kind of cardio for sure.
Oh yeah, as soon as someone's grabbed you and you didn't want to be there, it's like, oh God, this is not good. This is no longer good. This is really bad.
It's terrible.
No, it's something really interesting to me, especially like you said. Obviously, you probably could train and do a match and do 10 minutes and be good and fine. But if you go out into an arena with a bunch of people cheering and adrenaline and all that stuff, like your cardio's got to be way better than what you can actually perform in a like live match because of what's going on in the environment. Or would you agree with that, or do you not think so? Do you think you perform better out there?
It depends on. it might just come down to the individual and how they like receive the crowd. Like some people get like very like pumped, when they have like like when the energy goes up. And you probably noticed this like back in my day, like when I used to throw. Like I was never the type of guy. Like I would just go get in there and like throw. So like with the audience, like it doesn't like make me like want to go more. Like I just like however my cardio is that morning, that's how it's going to be at night. Like nothing is changing. So yeah, the crowd is not a big factor for me.
I understand. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely people handle even in throwing. Throwing's a big one because especially it's different. Like you don't get a warm up. You don't get to go out there and bounce around the ropes a few times, but in throwing you get a warm up. So like you could take a really good throw and kind of get a little nervous and like
tight.
Exactly, and freak out about it. So it's almost like a little it's a different little type of nerves there when you
definitely,
and it goes the other way too. If you have a bad warm up session, obviously you're going to be like, God, what's going on, please?
Like how like you take that first throw and like that stand throw is going to determine your mood for the rest of the practice. It's like that was bad. And a bad session because you had a bad stand throw. Like
you look back and Coach Yus just
puts his head down. With his cap.
No, that's always something that it's I try to get away from it, especially at a meet, because I'll literally be thinking that at the meet, like, okay, if I get a warm up around this distance, I'll be feeling good. But then it's like it just depends on the throw sometimes, because sometimes I feel great, but it comes at your hand wrong. One of them throws that feels really good.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that was the one.
Yeah, and it lands like kind of far, but not far. And you're like, really. Damn, that felt like it could have been the one. Like, you don't know. Yeah, so it's like that. It's just dumb to do, but you're definitely gonna do it. If I can see where it lands, I'm gonna look. I just can't help myself. I can't. It's actually crazy. Like especially for me, it definitely does a difference. And I think I throw further. It's just it takes some time to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Like if at Alabama, the grass, there's no line.
There's no lines. Yeah.
So it's like a technical session. You go over there because you can't see how far it's going, so it doesn't really matter. You can only kind of judge off of the stand throw. Oh, that was a lot further than where I was taking my stand. That was a good one. Or like that was further than the holes that I had from the other day or whatever it may be. But when you go down and see the lines, it's automatically like, oh, I got to go 10% harder because it could go that far.
Yeah.
And every time I watch the technique, I'm like, how did it get like I watched it like Monday down at the grass. Oh, that looks great. And then it's like, wow, what are you doing?
Such a difference.
Yeah.
I love the warm-up champions,
Yeah.
The people who win warm-ups, I love them so much. You just know who they are too. Eric Favor is under the bus. Let's throw him under the bus. He was a warm-up champion for sure. For sure. Like he will take warm-up throws and I'll get scared. I'm like, oh shit, well, there goes my championship. And then we start and then, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. No, it's a thing with a lot of people because I mean, there's people that I've seen that will throw 18 meters. We had someone on the team throw 18. I would see him throw 18 meters in warm-ups, throwing 17 high. In the first flight, we're in the first flight. We like blast people in the first flight. The other kids are asking me, like, why the hell is he in this flight? And I was like, just wait. You'll see. You'll see. Just wait till we start throwing. And he threw 15 meters at the meet. And I was like, how's that possible? Like, you know how mad I would be?
Yeah.
Like if I know I can throw 17 and then I take a throw at 14 meters, there's no way I'm saving the throw. There's no way.
Just go home.
Like it would have had to come out my hand wrong.
I was probably sick. Like there's no way. I probably had COVID or something. Like for me to like lose 3. Like some people compete like like this guy he throws 20 or 19, and then you look at the sheets, it's like 16 meters.
Yeah.
It's like what happened?
Yeah.
It's like, it just wasn't his day. I've never, like, even when it wasn't my day, like, I still, that bad. I never lost 3 meters. Nah.
Oh, because that's like a stand throw. You're sitting there going like, that's normally like on a good spin, you're going to gain 3 meters.
Yes.
So if you lose 3 meters, like, how did that happen, man?
It's so confusing.
Hey, listen, me and you've talked about this before, bro. There's people that'll come out and talk about how far they throw in practice.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, are you just not competing well? Like you're still right now the number one thrower in the world with 23-13. But yet, you know what I mean? He even said it. He said it himself this last meet. He said he competed horrible. He should have beat Krauser by a meter.
Oh yeah.
So he's saying. So it's like, all right. So you can throw 22-4 on a bad day.
That's kind of wild to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all right. I guess some people do it, but I mean, there's a video of him throwing 24 in the warm-ups at one time.
No, I've seen it. Yeah.
So I don't doubt it.
I've seen it.
I know me and you've argued about this before. So
I mean, so like someone like that. I remember what was it? I think it was the argument was, does that make him a bad like competitor? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like he's throwing like 1 meter like under his practice PB, and like, but he's still winning meets. Like,
yeah. He's the world leader.
Significantly, he's the world leader and all that stuff. Like, but does that make him a bad competitor? Like, to me, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but like, will I pay money to see him throw? Yes. Like,
of course.
He's one of my favorites.
He's one of the best throwers in the world. But you look at it and you go, so if he's throwing this far in practice, is it that those aren't savable throws? And he's kind of adjusting for that, like he's assuming about a meter loss because he's a little going out of the ring, or are these throws that he's saving that he just knows he can throw further than that?
And just never
Which
does.
In your mind you go, like with how close that rivalry is with Krauser, you'd go, well, that's the difference with him being number 2 in the world and the world record holder and multiple time Olympic champion. Like it's a pretty big difference in like that thing, even though he's obviously literally the second best thrower ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's you can't even deny it. But I just want to see the 24-meter throw in the meet. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it could just be the fouling. Like, I understand fouling at practice, but it seems like I've heard things where he's talking about like saving throws that are that far.
No, he has to have mastered saving it by now, because like if you think about it, like those practice throws, like they've been going on for about 10 years now. Like, this didn't start today. Like he's been throwing far forever. Yeah. So like he's definitely learned to save them at this point. There's no way.
Maybe this is a perfect way, because I think the Olympics is a perfect time, because I think this Olympics you could see 3 dudes over 23 meters.
Who's the third?
Fabri from Italy,
guy.
the 2290, and he had a 23-meter foul at World Championships last year.
2295. Right?
I think it was 95. I'm pretty sure it was 95. Insanely far.
That's
insanely
deep.
far.
That's deep.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you, but obviously they just had the trials. I think it was 2-3 days ago. Otterdahl, Kovacs, and Krauser made it for the U.S., which was probably most expected, what people expected to see. But what do you think about that, and how do you think the Olympics are going to go with that?
All right. Kovacs, obvious qualifier. Well, who knows? Might lose 3 meters. But like, obvious qualifier for me. Krauser, also obvious. Maxwell. Oh, sorry, not Maxwell.
No, yeah,
Peyton, not at all. Like, I didn't think he was going to make it, but like he did. So like, good on him. And I think my predictions for the championships would be, I don't think Krauser's winning. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is his year, as far as like, he's been injured, right?
This was the trials was his first meet.
Yeah, so I don't think he's winning. I say Kovacs breaks the world record.
Yeah, I could see that.
I really think so, despite him being a bad competitor. but he wins the medal, gold. Who would be second? I know Italian guy is definitely going to be fourth. To me, I just see him coming in fourth.
Interesting.
I don't think he's replicating 22-9.
Interesting. I think it's going to be like I want Krauser to win, because no one's over the 3 in a row would be crazy.
He doesn't have 3 in a row.
He has 2 right now, so this could be 3.
Oh yeah, 2016. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
But
that was the very first one.
Yeah, looking at like obviously Krauser's going to throw really far, and I just think Kovacs could do it.
I think he's going to do it now.
And he showed all that we did say. He shows up when it matters. Like the World Championships throw.
Yep.
That was incredible. You see him hit it, you're like, wow, he smacked that one right.
Yeah. That's the best shot put competition
ever. Like, exactly. I think we could see a replica of that this year.
I think so too.
Because that's how good the people are. But I think the Italian dude's going to get second.
Who's going to be third?
I think it's going to be Krauser, Kovacs, Fabri, I think is his name. But Krauser, Kovacs could switch, and Fabry could switch as well
Yeah.
because his throw looks so good. It's like timing. It's a lot more like timing than I don't know. It's kind of Krauser-ish because he's a taller, bigger guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love watching his throw.
It's good.
I think it's really
good.
But it is one of the ones that I feel like if it's off
It's
a
off.
little bit more.
Yeah.
But if it's on, he can send it. He can send it.
23.
Yeah.
If he's on that day, he will throw 23.
And Otterdahl is a sleeper because he's thrown 2250. I threw 2250 once this year and a bunch of 22 low, like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great day at the trials, but he still threw 2226. But he's had multiple.
Damn.
That was the only one he had over 22. Like that was the closest because he's had multiple meets where multiple throws over 22 meters. So you got. I think it's going to be a really, really good competition. Like if you don't throw 22.5, like don't even think about getting a medal. Like you're not even going to sniff.
How's Walsh doing?
You're not even going to sniff a medal. That's the wild card. I don't know.
Walsh.
Because he can throw 22.20, and that's a really good throw. But then congratulations, you get 5th, and it's going to be like,
here's
what?
7th place.
Yeah. It's like, hold on.
Man. But I mean, I think definitely Walsh definitely being the wild card there, like 22 low.
If people have a bad day, he can get in there.
Yeah, if it rains and and one thing about Walsh is that he's a good competitor too. Like when it rains, everyone else gets thrown off. Like he's going to show up. He's going to show up. Yeah. So if there's any like external factors, like a lot of guys are going to be like thrown off their game, and he can like slip in.
Yeah.
Tunde didn't make it.
Unfortunately.
That's my boy.
I know. I was unfortunate. It worked out. Obviously, World Championships last year, but it's unfortunate. But I mean, that U.S. team is incredibly hard to make.
Yeah. Another one of my boys who didn't make it, D-Mac.
Oh yeah. Seriously,
I was really hoping.
I think he's there was a quick comeback coming back from like not throwing and coming back.
Yeah.
So I think he did well for especially putting together some good throws this year.
Definitely.
And he continue doing it. Could definitely do well.
20, right? 20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he definitely touched 20.
Yeah. No, he did well. I think it was at some of the garage strength meets they had up there. But yeah, no, I think the trials are just like guys threw 22 meters this year and it's not going to
bomb. 22 gets you nothing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You are 7th.
You're number 7 in the world. You're like, hey, sorry, you didn't make the team. Sorry, you didn't make the team, man. You're like, what? How does that even make sense?
Yeah, the game is broken. Like Krauser broke the game.
He did.
Krauser broke the game.
Yeah.
Like if you threw 2150 back in the day, you probably were in there. I remember a video of Rhys Hoffa celebrating like the world ended, and he was going straight to heaven.
The 22.4.
22.4. Like, but if you throw 22.4 now, fourth place maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If you at the Olympics, you're not going to medal. You would not medal.
You're not doing anything.
Absolutely not. That's like Krauser took a static first throw of the year, 22.44.
I remember that. That's crazy.
At the trials, first throw of the year, literally just had a surgery on his elbow, throwing 22.4. It's just different. I saw something he'd thrown 22 meters like over 200 times in a meet.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what?
Yeah.
That's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was the goal was always to be like Krauser, the next Krauser. I mean, but Krauser is Krauser.
Exactly, yeah.
Krauser is just Krauser.
Yeah. It's tough to replicate. I think the one person that can do it is Jackson Cantwell. I had him on the podcast like I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, and like he threw whenever I had him on, it was 72 feet. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks later, like I'm posting clips and I'm messing it up because it's now 74 feet because he already threw further at a meet. Like the next week, I was like, man.
Yeah.
But he's only a sophomore. He's going into his junior year, like next year. So this is sophomore year. I think he's
going to be good.
He's one of the ones that could maybe get 81 feet, which is the high school record.
I think so too. I mean, if you're Christian Cantwell's son,
it's a little bit of an advantage. That's for sure. It's
the genetic pool selected you to throw. Don't fight it.
And I think he is, bro. I think he's gonna play football. I don't think. Yeah. So
really?
When I asked him on the podcast, he said that he was going to try to throw both or to do both, meaning like, which he's a good enough football player. Like he's ranked number 6 in the country right now for his class. like overall, which is incredible.
Pretty good.
So I think people are going to want him. So if that's something he really wants, he can make it happen. But he definitely, and rightfully so, because of the money, was like obviously the primary focus is going to be football. But which I understand. But
yeah, I get it.
I would love to see him continue to throw in college.
Yeah, I want to see him try both. I mean,
Well, it's the same thing that happened to Michael Carter, the dude who threw 81 feet. Is he went and played, won Super Bowl, and I think he ended up getting a silver medal at the Olympics. Like he was still an incredible thrower. But when you look at 81 feet compared to what he threw, it was like a conversion that would be similar to that same distance, even when he threw at the Olympics. I think he threw 71 feet with the 16 at the Olympics to get the silver.
How old was he when he did this?
I don't remember how old he was. It was after he played football.
So after college?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I was like, was he in college when he did it?
81 feet was high school.
Oh.
Which you think a conversion, a conversion for that, you're throwing almost 70 feet.
Oh, wait, he was in high school when he did this?
Yes, with the 12 pound. That's the high school record, is 81 feet.
That makes sense.
And Cantwell is 74.9 right now as a sophomore.
Yeah, he's going to get it. He should get it.
He's going to be close. Yeah, he's going to be real close.
And I hope he does.
Me too. I think
I like seeing records go. Like,
yeah,
I look up records. I'm like, when was this? 1992. I'm like, what were people doing for 30 years? Like,
yeah. No, I've heard people take on that, like the Michael Jordan LeBron debate. It's like, well, if you say Michael's better, then you're saying like basketball hasn't gotten better in like 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't think that. I think basketball has gotten better. I just think Michael's better. But, that's just me.
I think people try to do like the equivalent of like the conversion. They try to do like the same thing with like sports. It's like, what's the conversion rates from 95 to 2024? Like, no one knows.
There is no, it's a fake number.
Yeah, it's arbitrary. Yeah.
That's how I feel in some of my classes I be taking. They're talking about the studies. And it's got a plus or minus of this, and it's this long equation I'm pulling in. I'm like, where did they get this from?
Where'd you get this
from?
Is
it an estimate? Like, what are we really getting right here? This doesn't seem right. Like, I'm sitting there like, But I guess we're just playing around, testing it. The true professionals know how to make it work and get a good number, actually. I got one last question for you here, because me watching it, I love, like, I'll go ahead and tell you, I've never been a huge fan of like the wrestling part of it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a big fan of UFC, so I'm sitting there like what's going on? Like, hit him, like, all this stuff. But I love the promo aspect of it, because you don't get that in the UFC, because they're sitting there like, I come here to fight. It's like, well, we came here to have fun, and that's just not fun. We came here to enjoy ourselves and not hear this. So. Like, it was that aspect of it. So I've always watched the promo aspects of it, but never like sit down and watch the whole match and everything. Yeah. But listening, obviously, like hearing from you different little ends of like what's actually going on, I've been more interested in all this stuff. And it just seems like that shit hurts. Like, is it as bad as it like appears to be, like on the thing when you're sitting there getting slammed and smacked around? Like, when you go home, are you sitting there like sore and waking up like that?
Like, definitely waking up sore is like my coach always says, he's like, you're never going to feel good. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I feel horrible. He was like, yeah, don't worry. That's the feeling you will have as long as you do this sport. So yeah, definitely. I mean, some things are like safer to take, and like, you sell and whatnot. But yeah, I'll say most things that hurt actually hurt. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that's for real. Because I've seen, like, I was watching one. I literally was like cutting. I got off of work and I knew you were on, and I was like, I gotta go to it. And I cut it on, and it was, wham! I was like, oh wow! I was like, he smacked the hell out of him. I was like, that was crazy.
Yeah, because some things you can't fake.
Yeah, you really can't.
Like a chop to the chest. Like, I'm not gonna fake a chop to the chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Just grate your teeth and take it.
You just gotta take it.
Like splash. Like someone jumps off the top rope. It's like. You just have to eat it. Yeah, eat it.
Yeah. But all right, man. Well, thank you. I want to tell one last thing. Obviously, on July 6th, Toronto, Canada. Okay. The tickets, Heatwave, right? July 6th, and if the tickets are already on Ticketmaster now, you can get them. Yeah, that's going to be your next one. You're facing Wesley, correct?
Mr. West, yeah, Wesley. He's done. He's finished.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And obviously, the other thing is you can get your Oba Femi t-shirts on the WWE shop, and that link will be in the description down below.
Click, buy, make your boy famous and rich. especially Rich.
Oh yeah. Thank you, man.
Hey,
Nice to see you.
dude, thank